Honey, I think I shrunk the kids. You know what? This is such a dumb premise, but I love it.
Oh my God.
Whoever created the title of this movie is just a genius. How's it going, everybody? Disney Dan here. Good to see everybody. We are back. Disney movie review for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And I got my boy, my friend, my brother, Walt from Mouse Talk. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Dan. This is going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think, let me count this. I believe that this is our 30th review on Disney Movie Review. I'm just going to double check because this is crazy how we've gone. This is our 30th review. I've just checked. That's crazy.
I didn't know that.
Well, there we go. 30 reviews. I cannot believe
30 weeks
it.
of this. That's crazy.
30 weeks of Walt and I talking about films like the Lizzie McGuire film, the Tinkerbell movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Guardians. Like we've spoken about some really amazing films, and tonight will be no exception. We're going to be talking about 1989's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Well, before we get started, let's see who's in the chat and say hello to everybody. Gene, welcome into the stream, Gene. Thank you for being here. We got Hannah Waghorn, our friend here, member of the channel. Thank you for being here, Hannah. Thank you for staying up. Hello to all my wonderful Disney Movie Club friends. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a wonderful weekend too, Hannah. And we got Sophie B. Welcome in. Good to see you. We got the wonderful Melissa from Mouse Talk. And spoiler alert, she loved this movie. Shiny Prisma, welcome into the stream, buddy. Good to see you in the stream. Thank you for everybody for being here. I know that other streamers are going on at the moment. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, but we are here as normal, 6 p.m., talking about Disney movie review. Hannah goes, and we've had quite the spread of movies at the last 30 episodes. I know.
We pretty much touched on almost everything. I mean, we've had Pixar, Marvel, Did we do a Star Wars? Yes, we did do Star Wars.
Episode 3.
Star Wars animated. We did live action. We
did weird and obscure. Cat from Outer Space.
Yeah, we've kind of had a plethora.
I think the only thing we really haven't done is a Muppet movie. So apart from that, I think that's it.
Yeah, we haven't done a Muppet movie.
We haven't done a Muppet movie yet, but I think we've really done in the first 30 episodes. We've really started to enjoy these kinds of movies. These are so much fun. And tonight, no exception, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Now, I believe that this film, I think when you look at it, it's become sort of a retro Disney classic 80s movie. I think it's become a little bit of a cult following. I'm going to be honest. I'm sorry, everybody. But this week was the first time I've ever watched it. I haven't watched it before.
Really? Okay, I didn't know that. I had seen it a couple times. I've seen it several times. I'll be honest with you, I'm a big Rick Moranis fan.
Spaceballs.
Well, Spaceballs. You got this movie. He's had some other movies. He was in Ghostbusters. He's been around, and this is really in the peak of his stardom. He's kind of fallen off the face of the earth when it comes to entertainment. But that was on purpose. He retired. He didn't want to do it anymore.
No.
I think he lives in New York or something now. But this was really at the peak of his stardom or popularity, for as brief as it might have been. He had several big hits for him that made him a household name, so to speak, at that time.
Alex Brown, Alex the filmmaker, welcome into the stream. Good to see you. If only we could put Spaceballs in the box. Oh,
dude, I can probably quote that. I can quote that movie verbatim.
That film is amazing. But Rick Moranis, you're right. We don't really hear about Rick Moranis anymore. He really, like you said, is fallen off the edge of the earth. Like nobody really knows. I think he's having a nice, quiet life. I think Rick Moranis, but he did leave us with a film called Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Now, you might recognize Honey, I Shrunk the Kids if you grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, that Disney's Hollywood Studios had its own Honey, I Shrunk the Kids play area back where the Backlot Tour was.
Absolutely, they did. I saw it.
Yeah, I was there too.
They also had a Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
which is now where the Pixar shorts are in Epcot, I believe, which was Captain Neo and all that.
I don't even talk about Captain Neo. Did you ever see Honey, I Shrunk the Audience?
I did.
Okay, me too. I really thought that was good. I'm sorry they took that out of there. I mean, I get it; it's dated and everything, but that was a cool little show. That worked well.
It was cool. I think with the technology it had at the time, I think it was really great. But the only thing that I can think of that we have of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in the parks currently is a little bit of music going into Epcot. That's it. Like there's nothing else.
Actually, that's not true.
Oh, really? There's another thing?
Still in Epcot.
Oh, in Journey into Imagination.
They got his hat, and you see a picture of Dr. Wayne Zelinsky on the wall.
Dr. Wayne Zelinsky on the wall next to Robin Williams in Flubber.
Robin Williams is up there, yeah, absolutely.
There we go.
So, yeah, they do still have a little nod, a little bit.
Few nuances there.
Yeah, no pun intended, but they do have a small little nod.
How many tiny references can we make and puns can we do this show?
Just a tiny bit more.
So Melissa never saw the Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. It was great. I think they should have kept it around, but again, it was a bit dated for its time. The film, I got Despicable Me and Home Alone vibes.
A little bit, yeah, I can see that.
I can see that.
I can see the vibes, yes, for sure.
I can see that. But I think we are very much looking forward to discussing this film. So 1989 was the film that came out. I'd never seen this film before until this week. Walt, you said you've seen this a couple of times. Do you know roughly when you first saw Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
I think in the movie theater.
Oh, really? Back in 1989?
I was 19 years old in 1989. I wasn't a kid, you know. I mean, I was, but yeah, I think we went to the movies and saw it.
And do you remember sort of reminiscing on those times in the movie theater and all the times you've seen it in the past this week? Or
well, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, Rick Moranis that same year had the movie Parenthood that came out. He was in Parenthood, which is a really fun movie as well.
That's good too.
In the 80s, of course, the 80s were his time for sure. He was definitely big in the 80s.
Yeah,
but yeah,
absolutely.
I just remember seeing it in the movie theaters. It was a lot of fun.
Simba 2, welcome into the stream. Hey, man, I like Honey, I Shrunk the Audience because the entire theater moved. Yes, absolutely. It definitely was a thing of its time. Melissa says we saw it with our kids when they were young, too. So you saw it with Walter and Mason.
Yes, we watched it with them as well.
Nice. Kirsty Clark, member of the channel, thank you so much for being here. She says, I've never actually seen this movie. Well, neither had I since this week. And Kirsty, I would, check it out. I think you definitely would enjoy it.
Definitely want to see it. It's fun.
Jumbo Sean, welcome in. Kadani Sean, good to have you here. Welcome in, buddy. So we kick off this movie. This is basically a film between two families. We got the Zawinskis. And we have what's the last names of the other family? They're called the Thompsons. Thompsons.
Yeah, let me just say this: for 1989, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was the fourth highest grossing movie that year.
Ooh, after who?
It had some tough competition.
What, 1989 Jurassic Park? No,
I'll tell you.
That came later.
Well, it had some. It did really good. It beat out Rain Man.
Wow.
It beat out Back to the Future Part 2.
Oh, okay.
It beat out When Harry Met Sally, Turner and Hooch, Uncle Buck, Field of Dreams.
Wow, beat out Field of Dreams.
But what beat it out was Lethal Weapon 2, which is a huge movie.
Yep.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Arguably, probably the best Indiana Jones.
Probably. And then last but not least, the big movie that year that started the comic book fascination, in my opinion, Batman. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids did really well that year.
I mean, going up against
competition.
Going up against Batman, Indiana Jones, and Lethal Weapon. I mean, to come out fourth after those three.
Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, yeah, but it's Ghostbusters too.
Yeah, it was Ghostbusters. But even still, but I mean, it wasn't good at all. But I mean, it beat out some really good movies. Pet Sematary, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Wow.
It did really
pretty
well. It grossed $147 million.
And the budget, I can't remember. The budget was
130 million.
So the budget was only $18 million, which is nothing.
Yeah, it did really, really well. It really did.
Yeah.
Well, it's had 2 sequels. It had Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and then it had Honey, I Shrunk Ourselves, and then it had Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. So they knew the success behind it because they had 2 sequels after it. We haven't even talked about the movie yet. I'm sorry. I just thought that was, when I pulled it up, I was shocked to see that it was the 4th highest grossing movie that year. And it beat out some good movies.
Wait, hold on. Hannah, you've never seen an Indiana Jones movie? I am putting the Indiana Jones movies in the box so that you have to watch them.
Indiana Jones? You've never seen Indiana Jones?
So good.
Oh my gosh.
Hannah,
you'll
love them.
You've got homework to do. That's almost as bad. No, that is, I'm sorry, Hannah, I hate to say it, but that's as bad as Carlos not watching the Marvel movies.
Yeah. Because at least like all the Indiana Jones movies, well, except for the 4th one, are fantastic. Like even the second one, I know that the second one's not as good as the first 2, but the second one is still pretty good.
Second one's fine. I love the first one, and I really love the third one.
Yeah.
I think I love the first one. I love the first and the third one, though. We're getting on, I don't know how we got to the end.
I know.
But I love the first and third ones because they have biblical references.
Yeah.
We're looking for the Ark of the Covenant, and we're looking for the Holy Grail.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of the reason why those 2 are big to me.
Kakima. Sorry, I'm not going to go there.
Kalima. All right, anyway, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Wayne Szalinski, he's an inventor. That's what he does. He's an inventor, and he's kind of a, you know who he reminds me of? Night at the Museum.
Yeah.
Larry Daly. Always trying to create things, right? Right?
Yeah.
Well, obviously Wayne Szalinski was before Larry Daly, but same type thing. Always trying to, and he finds these little things that he can create here and there that are cool, and you see them throughout the whole house, all these little gadgets, which are really cool. But he's trying to find he's trying to get the big break. He wants to create that life-changing, earth-shattering, thing for everybody. And he's been trying to develop a shrink ray, and to no avail. His family is in shambles. His kids, he doesn't pay attention to him. Him and his wife are, I wouldn't say estranged. That's probably not the right word. But they're arguing.
Yeah, they're having some difficulties, I think.
They're having some difficulties, for sure. And all this time, he's been trying to create this shrink ray to no avail. Every time he does, he blows things up.
Yeah. And he's doing it for a good cause. He's doing it so that he can show the committee that he's invented something that they can invest money into to benefit his family. Like, that's what I quite liked about sort of the reason why he's creating something, because it gives him a purpose. Because you see in those films, in other films where they create something and build something for no reason, they just build it for, for giggles. Mm-hmm. But for this, he actually has a purpose for building the shrink ray so that he can get some funding for it so he can provide for his family. Mm-hmm. Hannah says, look, I'm currently watching the Marvel films to catch Indiana Jones is next. I could give you a list of all the movies I've never seen. It's bad. What I would suggest as a separate side series, I think Walt and I should do, we should do called a Hannah Waghorn watch party. And we should all watch movies that Hannah's never seen together as a group and see her reaction. That's what we should do. In Simba Sue says Indiana Jones' order for me is 3, 1, 2, 4. Possibly agree with that. But moving back to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Alex says Rick Moranis was a perfect in this role. No one could have done the role justice. I completely agree. I think Rick Moranis was a perfect choice.
I have one that I think could have done that. Actually, I don't know. I have 2 people that I think could have done that. I agree. I think Rick Moranis was great for the role, and I don't want anybody else to do it. But if I had to pick somebody else, I would either pick Robin Williams.
Yeah.
I think he could do it. And John Ritter.
Okay.
I actually can see John Ritter doing that role. He was a physical comedy kind of guy with him jumping on the fence and swinging in the air and all that he was doing throughout this film. I could see either one of them, But I love the fact that it was Rick Moranis. Don't get me wrong. He was perfect. He did a great job.
I do want to mention when Rick Moranis was building the machine, when he was sort of tinkering with it, and he had the visor down. It did remind me of Dark Helmet. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest.
He's so funny throughout this entire thing. He really, really is. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then of course the neighbors, the Thompsons, like you said, they really don't get along with the Zelinskys. They're neighbors, but the kids don't get along with the kids. And the dads don't get along at all. So that's a big obstacle in the very beginning of this film for them, is getting past that, because what this ultimately comes down to is working together.
Yep. It's definitely working together. And I kind of like the sort of, not rivalry, but the differences between the families, and it kind of built that sort of story around these two families. So you have Amy and Nick, the two kids who are part of the Zawinski family.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Russ. So the father's name is Russ, and
then there's Russ Jr.
And the son is Russ Jr. The older son is Russ Jr. and Ron, who's the little sort of 13-year-old brat, kind of an annoying sort of child. So those are the kids. And then obviously you have Russ, the elder, the father, mm-hmm. and you have Wayne, the father of Amy and Nick.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole sort of backstory in a way is that the Thompsons, they're getting ready for a fishing trip. The eldest son, doesn't really want to go. He wants to do his sort of own thing. He started to sort of get interested in girls, and he's like a cool sort of late teenager. That's what he is. And the younger son is a bit of a brat, I think.
Right.
Ron is a little bit of a brat,
but he's a little bit of a brat because you can tell he's
immature. He's immature,
but he's ignored. And I say that because the time, like when he asked his dad, will you hit some around with me? And the dad wouldn't do it. And I kind of took that as he's not getting the attention he would hope he would get from his dad.
Absolutely.
To an extent.
Disney UK, welcome into the stream. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome in. Happy Sunday. And then obviously you have Amy, the oldest on the Zawinski family. She's getting ready to go to the mall to meet up with this guy who they're going to go on a date with. And she's very excited. And, she's, started getting interested in boys. And Nick, the son, is kind of very much inspired by his father being the inventor. But very again, much. He is somewhat ignored.
Yeah, by his dad.
So it's kind of great how both the younger sons are ignored by their fathers.
Right. It's a common thread that they have. It's one of the things that they can actually they both are going through the same thing, just in different ways. And they don't like each other. Because you see it in the very beginning of the movie. They're kind of insulting each other because the youngest son on the Thompson side, he's kind of a ball player. He wants to play ball, and obviously on the Zelensky side, he's more of a science guy. It's not playing ball isn't something he does. He's more of a books guy.
Two contrasting characters here. We got Anna Isabel. Welcome into the stream. Thank you so much for being here. So we got the two families, definitely different contrasting families. And how they all sort of started was that we talked about the machine, the shrink ray not working. And then when Wayne, the father, goes off to try and pitch the idea, Ron, Ron Thompson, the youngest child, was playing baseball in the yard, and he hits the ball over the fence into the attic of the Zawinski family, hits the machine, and the laser starts going through the baseball and then starts shrinking things. It actually makes the machine work. So through the baseball, like it's sort of powering through the baseball, if that makes sense. And starts to make things shrink.
Well, what happened was, and they say it in the movie in the end. Ryan McDowell, what's up, buddy? Welcome in.
What's up, Movie Ryan? Rye guy, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. And we got Movie Mania Nick. Good to see you, Nick. Thank you for being here.
Well, what happens is the ball, because he actually explains it at the end of the movie, but I'll tell you now. The ray is too hot, so it blows things up. The ball kind of is considered like it's a buffer, so that it's not too hot. By the time it goes through the ball, it's just cool enough that instead of blowing things up, then it does actually shrink it. It's more of like a
lukewarm.
However you want to call it. Yep. But it actually takes away some of the heat so that instead of blowing things up, it shrinks them. So the ball, they needed that. It could be a ball, it could be anything, but it needs to have something to buffer that temperature, to bring the temperature down. And that's what happens. And it shrinks a couple of sofas first.
Yeah, it shrinks the thinking sofa. So Hannah goes, it all started with one man, one dream, and a baseball.
There you go. That's true. But then what happens is, go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
No, so it shrinks the sofa in which Wayne sort of gets his ideas from. But obviously he's away, so the Thompsons go and try and retrieve the baseball.
Well, and they're coming over to say they're sorry.
Yeah.
The oldest brother says, look, you broke the window. You're going over there. You're going to say you're sorry. So he takes him over there, and they get to the back door, and the two kids answer because none of the adults are home. They're out. And they're like, hey, we broke the window in your attic. We apologize. And the two youngest go upstairs first.
Yeah.
Because the daughter says, Nick, take him upstairs, get his baseball, and bring him back down. So the two of them go up there.
Arguing.
And as soon as they open the door, zap.
Bam.
They're hit with the ray gun, and they're shrunk.
Yeah.
So obviously a little time passes, and the daughter and Ron Jr. are like, where are they?
And they go up.
They go upstairs.
And they get zapped.
And now they're all probably about the size of an inch, a quarter of an inch.
Yep. Hey, Kay Atwood, good to see you. Thank you for being here. I hope you had a lovely weekend. Yep. But they are tiny. They're like the size, smaller size than like a nail. They're very, very small. Hannah goes, that type of thing totally happens with me when I actually hit a shuttlecock over the fence into the neighbor's garden. I mean, I've always had those things where I've always kicked things over the fence or soccer balls and things like that.
It's true.
So they get zapped. So all the kids are zapped. They're in the attic, and Wayne comes home. And actually, the dog actually has not a big part, but he kind of helps the plot move along. And he kind of brings Wayne up to the attic. And I love this scene. I really love how Wayne was like using the broom and sort of sweeping all the kids up, putting them into like a plastic bag, taking it out to the yard.
Well, let's take a step back for a second, because he comes upstairs and he just failed at work. They laughed him out of the building. So he's down and out. He's depressed. He thinks the ray gun doesn't work. And the kids are shrunk by now. And he's frustrated.
Angry.
He's angry. He's upset. Well, he destroys the ray gun.
Yeah.
He goes in, he takes like a hammer or something, starts pounding it.
Yeah, like a wrench or whatever it was.
He's going to need this ray gun to be able to save that. He doesn't know they're shrunk yet.
Yeah.
But he's mad. He lashes out. He destroys the ray gun, and pieces of it fall all over. And that's kind of a fun scene when you see the things falling and the kids are trying to duck them and stuff like that. And then that's when the broom comes in. After he calms down, he finally is like, he's thinking to himself, I got to clean all this up. So he goes and gets the broom to clean up all the stuff. And you see the broom coming at the kids because they're really, really small. It is a fun scene. I agree with you. The one thing this movie did really well were the sets they used. The sets they used, I thought were really cool.
I think the perspective that they used was fantastic. They really got the size right.
I thought so. I thought so too.
It did remind me a lot of Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man must have taken a lot of inspiration from this movie. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I watched this movie, when they get thrown into the trash and then wrapped up in that plastic bag, I felt like I was suffocating. It's dark. You remember that part in Toy Story 2 where Woody gets thrown away? Mm-hmm. It felt exactly like that. I felt like I was watching Toy Story 2.
Yeah. But it's neat. Well, right. He sweeps them up. He puts them in the trash can, takes them to the end of the yard, puts them out for the trash. Now they get out of the trash, but
thank God.
Yeah, right.
Could you imagine?
it's kind of out of the trash and into the fire, so to speak, because ultimately, remember, they're about a quarter of an inch, and I really think this was cool too. They did a good job with breaking things down for kids. The little one, Nick, I think his name is, says, okay, we're a quarter of an inch. It's 64 feet from the end of the yard to the back porch. That would be 3.5 miles for us. I'm glad they did stuff like that because that helps to put in perspective just how far they have to go to get back just to the front porch. There's 64 steps for us, but it's 3.5 miles for them.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of good.
It gave us a bit of perspective and how long it could take them, not considering all the other obstacles that they'll come across. I think it's a very genius way of giving us some detail here. Hannah says, I honestly thought it was all over at that point when the kids were thrown out in the trash. Yeah, look, it could have been a lot worse. It could have ended up like Toy Story 3.
That's true. That's true.
All holding hands into... No, I'm not going to go there. So they're at the end of the yard and they manage to open up the bag. And I love the shot where you're sort of their eye level and you see the endless garden up to the house. Like, it looks like genuine. You are about to enter a forest. Like, it's a really great shot. And
the perspective, they did a really good job of really making us understand the perspective of these kids. I agree.
Yeah. And then they go down a little leaf like a slide and they enter the forest of the backyard.
Yeah. And remember, some of the obstacles that they are now going to encounter are something that at normal size would be nothing. But now they're smaller than several of the insects, I'm going to call them, that they encounter along the way now. So they kind of get the perspective of understanding how the insects feel when we're normal size. Now they're small compared to the insects, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It sort of makes things, it puts it into perspective. Absolutely. Amy from AJC Magic TV. So good to see Amy. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you had a lovely weekend. Thank you for being a member. Welcome in. The lawnmower scene is interesting. Now, let's just quickly touch upon that because we'll come back to it. When Wayne left to go to talk to his, his bosses and everything, he asked Amy and Nick to do some chores around the house. And Nick, being Nick, he decided to ask a friend to cut the lawn for him. But this lawnmower is actually a remote control vehicle lawnmower, and he can control it from it. And he asked his friend to come back the next day to do the lawn mowing. Which I think if you watch the movie, you know that scene is coming. You know that they're going to end up interacting with this lawnmower. I think it's quite... we'll come back to it because it's near the end sort of the journey. But I like the sort of the bait. I like it.
Right. Well, I mean, as they go on, the first obstacle that they really hit is obviously the length of how far they have to go. That's the first obstacle. So we get that from the very beginning. We understand how far they have to go. Yep. The second obstacle that they hit is they run into an ant. Luckily for them, it's a baby ant, which they aptly name Auntie.
Okay. Every time I heard that, I just remember Paul Rudd going, Anthony! from Ant-Man.
That's his name. But anyway, at first it seems like they're going to have to fight the ant because what happens is along the way, they're starting to get hungry. Yeah. And then they come across a cookie in the yard. And who knows how long
it's like a ginger cream cookie or whatever it was.
Somehow. Yeah. So they're hungry, so they start eating the cookie. And they actually did that really good, too, making that cookie look like that. That was really cool. And then this ant comes along, and because when there's food around, ants are going to get it, especially outside. And they kind of have to fight the ant at first. But then they realize that, hey, if we get on top of this ant, he'll move really, really quick. They can lift like 50 times their weight. Maybe he can kind of lead us quicker across the yard. So they get him to kind of train him a little bit with a piece of the food. You know how you dangle it out in front of them and they'll keep going straight.
Yeah,
that's kind of what they do.
It's like the donut on a treadmill kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So they do that, and then Auntie will ultimately take them further and further, and he does. He does a good job with that. And they kind of train him, and he becomes kind of almost
part of the group.
Part of the group. Yes, he does. He does. Yep. So that was kind of neat. And then, of course, the second obstacle was when Nick fell into the pollen, and he had a friend in there. I'll let you explain that one if you want.
So yeah. So I really like the fact that he was given sort of a bit of a backstory that he was allergic to pollen, and
yes.
I like the fact that they brought that up, and then he comes across, I think one of everybody's most feared insects, a nice big bee, and
I think it was a bumblebee too.
It was a bumblebee, which I thought was. I think if you knew you were going to watch this movie, I think you knew that this was something like this was coming.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the scene, and I don't remember exactly because I watched this early in the week. My brain's all fuzzy, but
yeah, I can tell you. Well, he falls into the pollen, and the pollen's too big at this point. It can't really get up his nose to give him any trouble, which is good. But then the bee comes, a swarm of bees, but only one specific bee comes to his flower that he was in, and the bee takes him. And this is where Russ Jr. Kind of starts to become the hero of this movie, in my opinion.
He steps up.
He steps up. He does, because the bee's about to take away Nick, and he jumps on the bee to save him. And ultimately, him and Nick and the bee's flying all over. And it's actually cool how they do this. The bee first flies over to the dad, the Thompson dad, and the Thompson dad tries to
flick it away. Yeah,
tries to swat at it, because who doesn't swat at a bee? We all do it to get it away from us. And they're like, no, don't kill him.
Don't hit him.
You're going to kill us. And then he flies over to Rick Moranis' character, and he's got a bat in his hand, and he's trying to hit it with the bat. And you're like, oh, my gosh, don't hit this bee. And then finally, Nick and Russ Jr. do get off they fall off the bee, and they're fine. But he saves him. Russ ultimately saves Nick from probably getting eaten, as morbid as that sounds. And that's the first time he kind of steps up to save somebody. He's not done.
No, he's not done. So with the bee, I feel like at this point we're sort of getting through the movie, and they're all starting to bond and get along a little bit better. Rick Moranis at this point, I think at this point he goes back up to the room with his shrink ray, and he goes to sit on his couch and realizes that he goes to sit down, he falls on the floor, and he finds his couch that was miniaturized. And then he realizes that actually his kids have been miniaturized. He realized what he's done. He's used the broom. He's put, the kids in the bag out and he has that sort of shock moment that, the kids are in the backyard, tiny. And he starts to come up with these sorts of ideas. He's got like a magnifying glass that he has on his like a helmet sort of device. Hey, Wendy Lou, so
Hi,
good
Wendy.
to see you. Member of the channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying up. Hope you're doing well, my friend. So that's sort of the realization, and I think at this point the mother comes home, and he said, I think he says like, oh yeah, we managed to get the shrink ray working. And then the mum goes, oh, have you told the kids? And he goes, well,
no, he said, do the kids? She said, do the kids know? He goes,
yeah, they know.
They kind of know.
Honey, I shrunk and there's the line. Honey, I shrunk.
Honey, I
think
I shrunk the kids.
Honey, I think I shrunk the kids.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray J.
Ray J, welcome in.
Welcome
Good
in.
to see you.
So that was definitely the best line in the movie.
But he's out there. Well, I got to go back to the part where he's out there and he's like dangling over top
on the fence
because he doesn't want
to.
Well, no, not after the fence. After the fence, when he's actually, he's got the TV for one side to weight to equal out his weight, and he's like kind of laying because he's looking into the grass to try to find the kids because he realizes they're in there somewhere and he doesn't want to step on the grass. So that part's there, and then the dog turns it around, and then when the dog lets it go, it unwinds itself and he goes.
That was definitely an 80s comedy style thing, wasn't it?
It's so funny.
He's on pogo sticks. He's climbing on the fences because he doesn't want to step on the grass because he doesn't want to trample his kids.
Yeah, he don't know where they are. He can't see them.
He can't see them. So
that's so funny.
I love it. I think that's genius, and I think that's why Rick, he did such a great job with the role. So really, really well done there. So the kids, I believe at this point, they find a Lego piece. Is that right? And they find sort of a place to stay. They're going into this sort of big Lego piece so they can just sleep for the night. Hey, Kelly from the Mickey Bunch. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Welcome in. So they find this big Lego piece, and Amy and Russ, they have a little moment.
They're starting to connect. They're definitely starting to connect.
I think they started more than connecting.
Yeah.
they had a bit of a smooch.
Yeah.
But so Amy and Russ have a little moment, and then we come across probably the most terrifying thing you can find in the backyard, and that is a scorpion.
They have to live in California because you don't have them on this side.
I know. Brandy Bays, welcome into the part that makes me cringe. The neighbor catches his fish, his finger on a fish hook.
That's true. Yeah,
I like that.
Funny.
Now this was stop motion animation they used here for the scorpion. I think they did for its time a good job with it.
They did fine.
They did fine here.
Dude, it was 32 years ago.
And we get Anton, whatever his name is.
Auntie.
I say Anthony because it reminds me of Ant-Man, but they have a little Godzilla King Kong moment with the scorpion and the ant.
Yeah.
And
again, it's Ron, the little one, right? Ron, it's kind of caught. The other three got away. They kind of got away from him, but Ron was caught inside the Lego, and the scorpion was trying to get him. And again, the older brother kind of steps up, and they do what they have to do to distract the scorpion long enough for Ron to get out and get away. And so he's, again, the leader, kind of coming up with the ideas. And then Auntie saves him ultimately as well by fighting the scorpion. But unfortunately for Auntie, it does cost him.
Yeah. Alice, the filmmaker, says, I love the stop motion involving the scorpion and Auntie. Melissa did not like this part. I can understand why. It's a bit freaky. Russ comes again, sort of saves the day. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why Amy sort of has started to become feeling more, not attractive, but closer to him.
Well, but we missed, you know what? I gotta take a step back. We actually missed an important part. When he's on the pogo sticks, he pulls the hose, the water hose, and by pulling the water hose, he accidentally turns on the sprinkler system. The
sprinklers.
And they do, and it's actually a really important part of the movie because, for them being so small, the water it's like flooding in this different areas, and these are big drops that are coming down, and they're like bombs almost. And the daughter, whose name Amy, is standing on the edge of this one, and she gets hit by one of the big drops of water, and it knocks her out, and she falls into the water to drown, and she's drowning. And again, Ron saves the day. He's the hero. He dives in, gets her, and she's not responsive, and he gives her mouth to mouth and saves her.
Because the CPR.
It's actually, for a comedy movie, it's a really
deep
serious
moment.
part
because
they don't play it funny at all until after the fact, a little bit later on. But I mean, you're like, oh, geez, is she going to wake up from this? And then finally she does. But it's a big moment for him.
Absolutely.
Russ saved her, not Ron. Russ saved her. Russ Jr. Right. Russ Jr. But
what in the world of Russ?
Right, exactly. What in the world with Russ? But I think that was one of the big parts that helped to bring her closer to him too. because that had already happened by then.
Mm.
Yeah, French class, because then that's when the youngest, when Nick says, "How did you learn CPR?" or whatever he called it, and he goes, "French class."
French class. Yeah. I love that. It's those small one-liners I really liked in this film as well. So back on the sort of human-sized level, the parents have informed the Thompsons what had happened. And now they're kind of figuring out a way to bring them back. So the kids, they finish with the scorpion, and now they're pretty much nearly there. And they get to sort of the patio, sort of outside area. The dog has a big involvement here. They do a little bit of a dog whistle. This is just before... No, this is just after the lawnmower. So the lawnmower the guy, the kid, Nick's friend who was doing the lawnmower, put them sort of in danger, and then and this is where Rick Moranis was like, "No, like you gotta turn it off," and because they don't want their kids being shredded,
right?
So they stop the kid with the lawnmower, and then the kids end up with the dog, and Nick then ends up in the cereal.
Right. Well, what happens is they're close enough now that they call to the dog, and the dog comes out, and the dog gets there, and they get on his whiskers, basically. They get on his fur, and they tell him, take us inside, and the dog does. And the dad's inside. At this point, they know the kids are out there. They're trying to figure something out, but he's eating some cereal to get, trying to get some breakfast, and he's inside, and the dog comes right up to the dad, to the table, and Nick falls off of the dog's whisker into the cereal.
The bowl of cereal.
The bowl of cereal that the dad is eating. The other three didn't, but the dog lets them off, kind of leans over, and they kind of jump off, and they're like running to the dad. Dad, don't eat the cereal! Because the youngest one, his youngest son, is
don't eat me!
Don't eat me! And somebody said the dog plays a big part. The dog saves the day because the dog bites his ankle just as he's about to eat his son. That sounds really weird.
Yeah. It does. A bit weird. So, yeah. Then he actually sees that Nick is on the spoon, and then he sees the kids on the table. And they're trying to sort of figure, so they kind of reconnect. They found them. They found the kids. But they need to figure out how to get them back to their normal size again. Right. And then we play a little game of charades.
Yeah.
They're like pitching, right. Throwing.
Right. Right. Because ultimately at this point, Wayne Szalinski does not realize how the machine works. Because when they finally do get them all there, they go upstairs and try to test it again, and he's still blowing things up. It's still not working. He hasn't figured out yet that he needs the ball to buffer the temperature to make it work. And that's where the kids have to do the charades, and they do, and he finally realizes that it's the baseball. And that's when he says that line. He goes, "Oh, the baseball buffers it to make it so it's not as hot and it doesn't blow things up." But they have to test it first.
Yeah. And who do they get? The not the antagonist, but Russ Senior, who we haven't really mentioned a lot in this movie because he's he does have an important part, but he's that dad who wants his best for his child, but in his way, not his child's way. T-Town Mary Ellen. So
hey, Mary Ellen, welcome in.
You. Thank you for being here. Welcome in.
Exactly. Throughout this entire film, you feel like he's the selfish one. Everything's about what he wants. I want to go to the pond.
Fishing trip. Yeah.
I want to go on the fishing trip. I want this. I want you playing for the football team. I want you helping out. I. This. But ultimately, he does this. The whole time you think he doesn't really care about his kids, but he really does. He cares about them a lot. He loves them, and that's why he's like, I'll test it and we'll see if it works because you're not testing this on my kids because you're not blowing them up. Ultimately, is what he's saying. And he does, and it works.
Test it. It works, and then they bring them back to full size, and then they all share, and then everyone's back to normal size, and they share a giant turkey together.
Right. Well, I took it as being months later, and it's
Yeah.
Thanksgiving time.
Yeah.
And and actually, it's kind of a premonition of the upcoming movies, because in this, it's not a shrinked turkey; it's an actually enlarged turkey, a giant turkey,
giant turkey,
like really, really big. And they're all there, and they're basically having Thanksgiving dinner together. And obviously, the daughter and the older son are kind of boyfriend and girlfriend, because they're playing footsies under the table. And the last scene is the youngest one looks at it and goes, "French class." Now I get it. And that's it. That's how the movie ends.
And that's it. So I think this film really is a classic live action Disney retro film. It really is. And is it one of Disney's best? I don't think it's one of Disney's best, but I think it's one of those films that you can put on, have a great evening, have a good time with it, and have a good laugh. And it's a really fun sort of good film. Captain, my Captain Akron, so good to see you.
That's true, Nick. That's true.
Remember the dad shrunk a bit because his hat was a bit for his head.
That's right.
Yeah, I think Disney M says the same. Yeah, and his hat doesn't fit.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. That was funny.
So how we do things on Disney Movie Review, we're kind of coming to now sort of our take on the movie, whether we liked it, disliked it. We're going to give our letter grade. So if you have joined Disney Movie Review before, you know how this works. But if you haven't joined us before, how we review the film, we do that letter grade, where it's an A+ being the greatest film, the best film you've ever seen, down to an F. And we would like you guys in the chat, if you've seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, to give us your letter grade in the chat, and we'll read it live on air here right now. So we're going to start off with Walt, and while Walt is giving his review of the movie, what he liked, his favorite characters, in the chat, let us know what you thought of the movie and give it a letter grade yourself. So, Walt, your review of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
It's a lot of fun. It's a live-action Disney movie for the 80s. It's apropos for the types of films they were bringing out in that time. Rick Moranis is funny. The sets are phenomenal. They really made it seem like we really could get the point of view of them being small in this throughout. It was a lot of fun, a lot of funny moments. I mean, if you really want to nitpick, there's holes here and there. Yeah, sure, absolutely. But for the most part, this movie's just fun for what it is. Obviously, it was a highly grossing movie. It was the fourth highest of 1989. I got to be honest, though. I'm going to have to give it a grade of a C+.
Nice.
I enjoyed it. I think my favorite character is still Rick Moranis throughout the film. But I do like Russ Jr. I think he was a really good character in this.
Me too.
But I'm going to give it a C+. I really enjoyed it. It's not one of the first movies I think of or go back to. And to be honest, if it's on, am I going to stop and watch the whole thing? Probably not. I'm going to watch some of it. But if I do watch it, I know I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm on a very, very similar wavelength to you. Melissa gives it a B. Fantastic. I think that's a fair review there. Brandy gives it a B+. Amy says she really enjoyed the movie. Movie Man and Nick gives it a B+. Sup, Bum John? What's
Hey, John.
up, buddy?
Welcome,
Good
buddy.
to see you.
What's up?
Ray J is going for a number grade as 7.5 out of 10.
That's
Nice.
That's high.
That's high. Hannah gives it, I give it an A-. I was going through all the emotions during each scene, and the Home Alone vibe made me enjoy it even more. The cinematography was great for its time. I think that is a fantastic point. And I really love that comparison to Home Alone. I think there's a lot of comparisons to Home Alone. So that's a really fun score there. Anna Isabel, I have seen it and I will give it an A+.
Good for you.
Nice. I like that. Alex gives it is one of my favorites, a B+. Disney M gives it a C+ to a B. And Kate Atwood gives it a B+. Now, I'm similar to you. Rick Moranis is my favorite character, and I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I don't think it's a movie that I would go back and watch over and over again. But if I see it, maybe I'll stop by and watch a little bit and have a good time with it. Sophie B gives it a B. Nice choice there, and it's apropos. And there was one annoyance. I didn't like about this movie. I hated how Amy kept going, Nikki, Nikki, and like literally, if this was, we're gonna go a bit PG-13. If you had if this was a drinking game, every time she went Nikki, you would have a lot of shots. Let's just say, but that was the only thing that really just got me a bit annoyed. Carlos, Disney World freak, what is up, buddy? Good to see you. Sorry, was distracted by the meatloaf. I totally get it, dude. And I hope the meatloafs came out great for those guys. Isaac Nail, good to see you. Thank you for being here. I mean, sorry, Sir Isaac Nail. Good to see you. And hey, we've got Kevin Sparrow. What's up, King of Twitter? Welcome in. So my review, I'm on a similar wavelength to you, buddy. I'm going to give it a... Hold on, let me bring up the banner. I'm going to give it a B-.
Nice.
I actually really enjoyed this movie. I think this film was fun. As this was the first time I ever watched it, I really enjoyed it. I think it had a lot of heart to it. I enjoyed sort of the backstories. I enjoyed the acting. I enjoyed the cinematography. I thought the sets were fantastic. Is it the greatest live action film Disney has ever made? No, of course not. But I enjoyed it. And I think people should go and give Honey, I Shrunk the Kids a try. Go back and watch it if you haven't seen it in a long time. Because you know what? It was, like you said, Walt, a fun movie.
Yeah, you know what they could do? I really think they could do it. I'm not sure what park they would put it in. I guess if I had to pick one, I'd probably put it in Hollywood Studios.
Me too.
But they could do a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids dark ride, where you almost like you're riding on Auntie, and it looks like you're in the giant, in the yard, in the grass and everything. I think they could do something like that and make it a lot of fun. I mean, they're not going to make. Oh, well, I mean, I guess they're doing it with Tron. They're taking an old movie and creating a new ride for it.
They could cross it over with A Bug's Life and call it Honey. It's like Honey, it's tough to be a bug or something. And I have it flick there, be shrunk to all the ants, and I don't know.
Well, kind of like Melissa says it, kind of like Ratatouille, same thing. I mean, you can do different things and make it somewhat similar, but not similar. You could have a couple green screens. I mean, a couple screens here and there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you could do it. I mean, I really think you could have a drop in there somewhere. I don't know. They could do it.
Absolutely. Carlos says, is it really a good movie? I missed the play area so much. Ethan would have loved it. Yeah, I miss that too. I really, really do.
Right over by the back lot. Right over by the back lot.
Right by the back lot. You could do a water ride to replicate the sprinkler scene.
You could. I mean,
I like it.
Look, there's a lot of different ways you could do. You could do different things. I get it. Disney wants their newer IP properties to be the forefront, but there's things they could do.
My question is, I know sort of Lego has become such a popular thing over the last couple of sorts of months. I'm even holding a Lego piece right now out of just fiddling with it. I don't know why. I always fiddle with things, and I happen to be here. But why have they created a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Lego set? They have a Lego piece in the movie. It just makes no sense. I don't know why they wouldn't have it. I don't know.
I can't answer.
It's just a real weird coincidence because I always fiddle with something on my desk, whether it's a golf tee or a pencil or a Lego. I think it is a really it's a fun movie. I think people should definitely go out and watch it. Let's face it, we all just want to be suspended from clotheslines thingies ride. If that was a ride, that would be so cool. And we spin around. Though Jeff, I don't think Jeff would like it because he doesn't like spinning or Astro Orbiter or anything like that. So guys, please go out and watch it. We loved doing these things. We love doing the show, and we ask people, whatever movie we pick out of the box, which we'll do soon in a minute. Go out and watch it. Go out in the week, spend an evening watching it with your loved one, watching it with some friends. Watch it, during an evening. And have fun, and then come back next week to watch it. Now, next week will be, if all goes to plan, on Walt's channel. But we do have, I think once every couple of months, there is the nominations for the was it this with the Star Wars ones?
Is that? Yeah, that's right. That's next weekend.
It's next weekend. So depending on timings, whether we will either skip a week or do it an hour earlier, I think it all depends. But Walt and I will discuss this closer to the time. But you will know on our social media, you'll know through our live streams what the plan is. But we are about to announce the next movie, our 31st movie review for next time. Are we ready?
No.
No. Now, you've been shafted with some poor choices.
No, it's been fine. It's been fine. I will tell you this now. While we have everybody here, we will skip next week because it's the Star Wars week.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go the week after, which is the week of the 4th, I think. I think that's when we'll go. Just so we're not. We want to make sure all eyes are where they need to be.
Exactly. So
yeah, and Easter's next Sunday too. So.
And Easter's next Sunday, so we're gonna take. We don't do these streams every single week. We do like to take sorts of breaks and allow and sort of give you guys some time to watch those films. Go back, watch some of the other reviews that we've done. They've been really so much fun. This was our 30th review. We really have been enjoying it. We've been having such a great time.
Oh no, they're talking about not next week. The week after, the week we're gonna do it is Easter Sunday. Well, we'll do it anyway. So, in the chat, we need a drum roll. Next time, 2 weeks from today, on Walt's channel, what are we going to be watching? Here we go. Here is the box. Now, you've had previously Captain Marvel and Tinkerbell and... yeah, so let's see. Next time on Walt's channel, our 31st review is going to be... I already know what it's going to be. I know what it's going to be. It's going to be the Great Muppet Caper.
Let's see.
Nope.
You've been asking for this one, and you're going to be really happy with it.
Is it Darby O'Gill and the Little People?
You are close. You are close.
Oh my God! Wait, no, don't. Is it Blackbeard's Ghost?
Nope.
Oh, what else have I been asking for? Tell me.
Are we ready? We are watching 2 weeks' time. The one. The only, the Apple Dumpling Gang. We are watching the Apple Dumpling Gang in 2 weeks' time. Walt's channel.
And guess what? I'm going to find it. There is a reference to the Apple Dumpling Gang in a Walt Disney World ride. Next, in 2 weeks, somebody come on stream. Not today. Hold it. No spoilers. I want to see who can answer that. Who has it? Who knows it? There's an Apple Dumpling Gang reference in a Walt Disney World ride. Can you name the ride?
I am very, very excited for this one. You've been looking forward to it. You've said for months and months and months you've wanted these classic, old school rides, these old school
Don
movies.
Knotts and Tim Conway. Does it get any better than that?
So I'm gonna be really honest with you, Walt. I'd rather have this on your channel than
Oh my God, I love it. That's fine with me. This is
Candy Mom, so good to see you. How are you? Member of the channel and amazing friend.
I'm not telling you, Hannah. You have to find it. I'm not saying.
Sorry, was reading book with the little ones. That's okay. That's absolutely fine. There's Samantha. Good to see you, Sam. Welcome in. We're just finishing up. So in 2 weeks' time, Walt and I will be reviewing the Apple Dumpling Gang. I know a lot of you guys have just come in. Thank you so much for being here. Please go watch the replay of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I know Dana and Corey were having an incredible stream just earlier. So please go check those guys out. It was all for the wonderful Pete McDevitt. So please go check that channel out. Go check out Dana and also come rewatch Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with us. It was really, really fun. Annie Coog, welcome into the stream. Thank you for being here. We're wrapping up soon. Wait, Walt, is it the Tower of Terror?
No, it's not.
It's not.
There, I gave you one hint.
There you go. It's not the Tower of Terror.
It's not the Tower of Terror.
So we really enjoyed these. Guys, please go out within the next 2 weeks. Watch the Apple Dumpling Gang on Disney+. Come join us in 2 weeks' time on Walt's channel for our 31st episode. Well,
I'll give you a hint. If you watch the Apple Dumpling Gang, it's going to be very easy to know what ride it is. Very easy.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Candyman says, Disney Dan, can I get more emojis? Okay, I can get some more emojis for you. That's totally cool. That's fine. Won't be tonight because it's very late here, but yeah.
Yes.
Guys, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for being here. We're ending the stream and we've got 30 people here. I mean, come on. So do we need to watch the Apple Dumpling Gang's return? Also, no, we're just going to watch the original, okay? We're just going to watch the first one.
Yeah, I would say just the first one for now. There was a sequel to it. The sequel's fine, but we're reviewing. I'm sure we'll get to the sequel at some point because it's on Disney Plus. But no, just the first one.
Just the first one. Carlos says, I know it's in the ride in the Disney park. It's also ride Walt knows what it is, and we don't. I mean,
that's true.
I don't know. But guys, thank you so much, Walt, dude. These are always so much fun. This was a fantastic stream. I really enjoyed this. Come on, then, tell us a little bit about you, your channel. Awesome streams this weekend. Grand Floridian today, as well as yesterday's stream. You are killing it over there. There's Keith. What's up, Joey's best bud? What's up, buddy? Good to see you. What's coming up? March Madness. I've been voting.
Good. Yes, keep voting. Mouse Madness is going great. First round is done. We have lowered it from 64 attractions. Half of them are gone. We're down to 32. Well, round 2 starts tomorrow. There'll be 4 more matchups tomorrow. Be sure to go out to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube on the community page on YouTube to vote for some. They're going to start getting hard from here on out, gang.
Yeah.
We had some blowouts in the first round. We really, really did. That's not going to be the case with some of these second round matchups and moving forward. So be sure to vote. I'm keeping track of all the votes. We're going to go over like which one had the biggest win, who got the least amount of votes, how many total votes. It's going to be awesome. We'll have all kinds of fun stuff. Do that. Tuesday is Dissanity. We will be live from a Disney park for that, which is going to be awesome. I'm not going to say which one, but we will be live Tuesday night from a Disney park.
Blizzard Beach.
No. I can tell you that. I will also say that next Saturday, we are blocked out at Disney. So we're going to other parks. We will be doing Saturday at Universal, as we will be celebrating and being part of Mardi Gras. And then Sunday, for the first time on Mouse Talks channel, we will be live streaming from SeaWorld.
Nice. Are you going on Manta?
No.
You going on the other one?
No, I'm not.
Mako?
No. Now we'll see. We'll see how we feel. I don't know that they would even allow me to stream that. They won't let me hold it. So I don't even think it's going to matter. But yeah, so we'll be having a lot of great stuff coming up, and some more ride. I did a new ride along. I've got another exploration each from Melissa coming out. Please check all those out, and thank you for having us. And we hit 7,300 subs today, so
absolutely amazing. Absolutely, guys. If you haven't checked out Walt's channel, please go do so. He is my brother. He is the guy. Go check out Mouse Talk. So, as for me, on the other hand, firstly, I want to give a big thank you to my partner channels, the Viapree Project, Mickey's Magic, RobFuz, and this wonderful gentleman and Melissa Mouse Talk. Thank you so much, guys. You are absolutely amazing. Also, go check out Dean over at the Live Place. Dean is your go-to guy for all your family-friendly live streamers. Dean is the main guy in front of everybody. He is the guy who does everything behind the scenes and things you don't even know what's going on. And he is the workhorse behind everybody's live stream channel. So, guys, please go check out Dean. And a big thank you to these wonderful podcasters, the Polka Dot Podcast and the Great British Bricky Waffle, for inviting me onto their show. Please go check out those guys. We did some really amazing podcasts over the last couple of months. Disney Fiasco. Just want to clarify with you guys. I know it's been 2 weeks since I've done Disney Fiasco, and believe me, it's very hard for me to skip these. And I know I haven't been as consistent over the last sort of 50 sort of ish episodes than I have been. Obviously life takes sort of turns, and life does, throws you curveballs and starting new jobs and new things and whatever. And sometimes I just don't have the energy, being staying up till midnight and doing a stream. It's very hard. But Disney Fiasco will be back this weekend. I'm trying to think of new things and new ways and new sorts of ideas. I know Disney Fiasco is always going to be that sort of live stream where we talk about Disney topics that, it's not your Q&As, it's not your chat choices, the generic sort of things. It's something always a little bit different. And that will be back this weekend, I promise, because I love Disney Fiasco.
We love it too.
Yeah, it's a show that I really do love doing, and it will be back. I know I've taken 2 weeks off, but it will be back next week. So thank you for everybody. Thank you for all the messages. It's been very sort of tough over the last couple of weeks as there's been sort of health things, and I don't want to get into sort of the negative sorts of parts or whatever, but let's put it this way: I'm getting on the mend, and some of you know, but I'll be back for Disney Fiasco this weekend, episode 129, and I might even change the topic to make something even more weird than it normally is. So come join 7 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yes, guys. Dan's channel is great. You got to check out Disney Fiasco. We love it. So
thank you, brother. And then also Disney Nuts will be back on Sunday as well.
Cool.
So that'll be fun too. Guys, thank you so much. You guys,
can I do one thing?
Sure.
I'm
You're
sorry.
always welcome.
Don't be
sorry.
I hate to plug it, but I gotta plug it. I'm sorry. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., Magic of the Mouse Radio, our next episode of our podcast, The Kingdom Clubhouse, will air. So if you need something to cheer you up on a Monday morning, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning on the Kingdom, on Magic of the Mouse Radio, which is great, The Kingdom Clubhouse. I'm sorry. I've got to get in the habit of remembering that, and I forget all the time.
Go check it out for sure. Guys, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. You guys are amazing. Have a really great week, everybody. Go watch Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Go and watch the replay after this, and then go watch the Apple Dumpling Gang, because we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Gonna be a lot of fun. And I'll see you guys for Disney Fiasco on Saturday. Have a great week, everybody. Love you all, and I'll see you later.
Bye, everybody.
Wait, how do I end this thing? There we go.
And broadcast.
And broadcast. That's it.